I need to watch it, see some highlights.
It took him 3 putts to make that last green. He was so nervous to get it.
Did he double bogey on that?
Yeah.
Oh,
He lost his.
But it didn't matter. He had 5 strokes to give up. So.
He said when he got down, he knew that there was nobody to catch up, that's when he kind of won.
Yeah.
But,
It was a likable kid, 25 years old.
right? Did you see the chip where he sunk it, but luckily the flagpole was in it. Like,
Yeah, that was motoring.
Pass this around.
That is, I
Annexation.
told Julie when that happened, that's almost a sign of fate.
and then the one that McElroy made the last one too.
Yeah.
Both of them.
From sand trap to sand trap to in the hole.
The two guys both hold out.
Yeah, exactly.
That don't happen. Play a long time for you to see that.
So I talked to the engineer and the website for him to do all this stuff is down.
Yeah.
So he wants to remove A through C.
Okay.
On the agenda.
Just a quick project update.
Yeah, he will be here.
Did you guys help with that?
Emails.
He did.
Yeah, he said he gives up early.
So all he's gonna do is be.
Yeah.
Do anybody have any trouble with phones Friday afternoon? Oh, well,
I try not to answer my phone Friday afternoons.
I had trouble talking on that also.
Mm-mm.
Or no, that was not Friday. it was-
I know the kids lost power at school for a while.
Yeah, half the town was, or there was an email.
Mhm.
Really? There was an alert on my phone that half the town of Carroll was without power.
Yeah, the light down there on Grant and 30 was not working.
Grant in 30. They start running into each other.
Well, they had stop signs up,
Oh,
so I don't know if anybody really knew.
boy, that intersection's bad anyway. It's a lot better since they redid it, but the lane is a lot better, but.
Fine.
Good morning.
Morning, John.
It is 9:00. Would you guys join me for the pledge of allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. Good morning. With the agenda, we are going to, under item number 3, remove A, B, and C from secondary roads. With that, I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda minus or 3, A, B, and C.
I will second it.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, looking for approval for Monday, April 4th, 2022 minutes.
I read the minutes and they read well, and I'll make a motion to approve.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, first item on the agenda is closed session for Iowa Code Section 21.5, parentheses 1, parentheses C, parentheses G.
Have you ever asked him to bury your trampoline?
It is now,
Oh, okay.
but we're only taking those off because the
Oh,
metal
you're
on
talking.
it.
Hey, are you guys done with your closed session?
Yeah, we
Yes,
are.
we are, Ben, thank you.
Okay.
Can't get dollars to go on.
Here you go, thank you for the effort.
The treasurer's office has changed.
Can't get one, anything go in one of them, the other one won't take
It
any.
goes in and kicks it back up.
Won't take any of it. It
Thanks,
just
Ben.
needs somebody else.
There's some water upstairs too.
Somebody may have jammed something in that one. I can't get it to start.
So a little bit of background, she and I met maybe about a month ago, 3
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Probably.
And I just wanted, this is something we can offer employees, but I wanted you guys to all hear what I heard and ask if you'd be okay with us offering it to employees. So that's just a little bit of background.
1 second. We're gonna jump to item 1. We did come out of closed session. No decision was made in closed session. So we will be going to item number 2, Liberty National presentation. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning. Okay, so I'm Allison
Nice to meet you.
and nice to meet you. Okay, so y'all have at the very front of the folder, there is that first little staple. It's my business proposal per se. It's gonna go over, it's gonna give a quick synopsis of each of the policies, and it's also going to like tell you an average cost of each policy for a 35-year-old, because a 35-year-old is our average employee. So I'm gonna go through this as well, but as I go through this, I'll let you know when it starts going through everything that's in your folders. Okay, so just to let you know a little bit about Liberty National. We've been around since 1900. We're based out of McKinney, Texas. We have an office here in Iowa that's in West Des Moines. I'm from Woodward, so I'm not that far away. So who we are, we have local offices nationwide. What that means to you and everybody that works in the county, they're gonna get me directly. They're not gonna call an 800 number. They're gonna have my cell phone number. I'm gonna be able to come over and help them walk through a claim, whatnot. If there's questions, claims, concerns, it's me that they're gonna deal with. Globe Life, which we are now a subsidiary of, has more policyholders than actually any other insurance company across the nation. And we have a top financial strength rating. It's an A+ rating with AM Best and the Better Business Bureau. So what that means to the county is we pay our claims out very exponentially, because that's where we take a lot of pride in, is doing our claims, because if we have happy customers, that means we have a happy employee, and happy employees aren't coming to their bosses and complaining. So are any of you guys sports fans?
A little bit.
A little bit, well, you're like, no, not so much. Well, in July of 19, we became the official life insurance company for the Dallas Cowboys, Texas Rangers, and we did partner up with FC Dallas Soccer. So what that means to you, the Cowboys, whether you like them or not, they only affiliate themselves with 10 different companies. So they only believe that they are dealing with the best of the best. And so that's where, and this is our only form of advertising, is that the Texas Rangers play in the Globe Life field. So we do not do any outside overhead advertising whatsoever. So at no cost to you is we help you attract and retain some employees with some needed benefits, and then we help those employees protect the ones that they care about most, which of course is their family. And then we help both the employers and the employees save on tax dollars, because as much as we all love to live where we live, nobody likes paying more taxes than we have to. So how we're different, we have some unique life benefits, which I'll get to here in just a minute. We have a needs-based approach. If they don't need it, we're not talking to them about it. We don't need to waste their time. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to offer what we have if they have the need. And then there's 2 introductory offers for every employee that sits down with us. Because of the fact that we don't do any of that outside advertising, that's how we can give every employee that's across the nation 2 no-cost policies. So those 2 no-cost policies, the first one is an accidental death coverage, because the leading cause of death under the age of 44 is an accident. So it's $3,000 on the employee and their spouse, and then $1,000 per child up to the age of 18. And that, or if they're still full-time college students. And then the second policy is a discount card. Now this is going to give them access. There's thousands of providers. Walgreens and Walmart are the 2 largest providers that actually participate. And it's gonna give you discounts on vision and hearing, prescription drugs, chiropractic care. That card comes to them in the mail in about 10 days. And it's going to list on the back of, it's gonna be in cardstock, letter size. And on the back of it, it's gonna list providers that are actually closest to their house, not necessarily closest here to the courthouse. So on a needs-based approach, since you're the ornery one, you get to answer. I'm gonna ask you two different questions. Now, I know you have about 125 employees, 130 employees here in the county. Think of an average one in your mind. So if they were to pass away, do you think they have enough life insurance? It's either gonna pay for the funeral, subsidize their income, say 6 to 12 months, depending on single or dual income family, or possibly pay off a mortgage. Okay. Same employee, if cancer, heart attack, stroke, or even an accident occurs to them or someone in their immediate family, do you think they have, say, 6 to 8 weeks worth of savings put aside, help pay the incidentals, turn the lights on, put food on the table?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's where we kind of help fit that bill, because that happens more often than not. So in regards to our unique life benefits, now, does everyone here know the difference between a whole and a term? Okay, now I know you guys right now, the county pays for $10,000 on each employee. So, and I know that, well, and it terminates once they leave, whether they retire, quit, get fired, whatnot, it terminates. So our policy here is, it's a group term life policy. It gives you coverage until you're 100. They have the option of being paid up at the age of 65. So say you have an employee that is 32 years old and
You're close.
I'll say that for sidebar. 32. So say, and she's here until she's 45. Well, she's going to leave here with that life policy because that's her policy and still pay that 32-year-old rate. So she's going to pay that until she's 65. Then she's done paying on it, but she still has coverage until she's 100. So it's portable. So that's what's great. It does not transfer to an individual rate. It doesn't just terminate. It gets transferred at the same rate that they locked in with. And the benefit never decreases. So if she buys a $50,000 policy, because the first $50,000 for an employee is done on a pre-tax benefit. So as long as she's got a $50,000 policy at 32, she's gonna have a $50,000 policy when she dies at 98. And our policy actually does pay out. So if you actually do live to be 100, you live to be 100 in one day. Normal life policies are done. You hit your 100 mark and you're done. Our policy pays out, doesn't pay the face value, but it's going to pay back all of the premiums you've ever paid in on it. And it's done on the pre-tax. So that's where the employee, like I said, up to 50,000 is pre-tax. The employee can actually build up to $250,000 worth of coverage. Obviously, the rest of it's post-tax. On their spouse and their children, they can get $50,000 policy on each of them, but that is also post-tax. So that's an additional benefit for the employee. Then in regards to our living benefits, our cancer policy, cancer doesn't care, male, female, young, old, doesn't discriminate. And it gets 1 out of every 3 of us. And it's actually, medical debt is the #1 reason for personal bankruptcy, because hospital debt and medical debt is just astronomical. So this is a scheduled benefit plan. It has no lifetime limits. I know our competitors can write a very similar policy, but they have a cap on theirs. Well, if you've ever gone through any kind of cancer, you know it's not cheap. So that's where this kind of comes into play. We have a first time occurrence benefit, chemo and radiation benefits, transportation, hospital confinement. So the transportation, that would pay for the employee and a loved one to fly 6 times a year round trip to a cancer institute of their choice. And on the first time occurrence benefit, they're going to give me a call with the diagnosis. I'm going to have a $3,500 check in their hand within 10 to 90 days, depending on how long the policy has been enforced. There's about 15 to 20 other benefits that actually get taken care of in this policy. And it is, look at, I guess it's this way, it's the 20% that is out of pocket that health insurance doesn't cover. This is what helps cover that. So it's not so astronomically expensive. Then in regards to our critical illness policy, now this policy gives you it's coverage for your stroke, your heart attack, kidney failure, major organ transplant. because every 40 seconds in America, someone's either having a heart attack or a stroke. And this policy is a one-time lump sum payment, so it's one and done. They give us a call, you know, and I'm gonna have that 10,000 or that $30,000 check in their hand. It's a policy that they can build up. So say if they're 18 to 35, a $10,000 policy, you guys get paid semi-monthly, but a $10,000 policy is 86 cents a week. So you're looking at maybe $1.80, so $3.60 maybe a month for a $10,000 policy. And there's just a lot of benefits to that when that comes to that, but that is a post-tax policy because it is straight cash. And then the last policy here is the Accident Protector Max policy. And this policy gives you coverage 24/7 on or off the job. And I really feel like I'm turning my back on you, so I do apologize. But this is, you can have coverage for the entire family. So say they get hurt at work. Well, obviously work's taking care of their hospital and doctor bills because it's work comp. Well, this is going to pay on top of work comp and it's going to pay it directly to the insured. As long as they are seen within 48 hours of the injury, they're going to receive up to $500 towards that bill. If they're in the hospital for a 24-hour period of time, they'd receive an additional $1,000. If they're confined for 2 or more days, it's $150 to $500 per day, depending on how long the policy's been enforced. But after the third year, it does cap at $500 a day. If they got transferred to ICU, it's 2 times that amount, so it'd be $450 to $1,500 a day to be in ICU. There's also an accidental death benefit rider built into this for the employee, for the spouse, and for children. And for the employee, it's $25,000 for an accident, $50,000 for auto, and $250 for any kind of travel. And that's anything that they buy a ticket for. And the spouse is a 10, 20, and 100,000, and then the children is 1,000, 2,000, and 4,000. So that policy is $3 a week. Well, for just the employee. So semi-monthly, it's probably going to be, well, it's going to be 12. So it's going to be like $680 semi-monthly. So it's going to feel like probably a little over $5 coming out of the check. But for the family, I know it's $27 a month, and that's going to feel like about $20.50. Now that's husband, wife, or that's husband, wife, and 10 kids. So how all of it works is we meet with each of the employees and we offer them the 2 no-cost policies. And then we complete the needs analysis. And I'm just going to ask them point blank, what's more prevalent in your family, cancer or heart issues? And however they answer is the direction I go down. And then we offer the protection because everything's a lifetime lock-in rate. So the only thing that I ask is that it's taken out of their check on a pre-tax basis, which is mandated by the IRS because it's Section 125. And there are some other companies that I handle that are here in town, like Family Resource Center, Caring Parts, Champion Ford, Midstate Milling. And we do the enrollment for Cass County in December. I believe it starts December 15th through the end of January. And then like Buena Vista County starts April 15th and goes to the end of May. I will say it's probably a little bit easier to see everybody at Buena Vista at this time of year, just because we're there. We pick 2 days and we're there at the courthouse, and then we go to the sheriff's department in the afternoon. The next day we do secondary roads and finish up at the courthouse. Because like when we go over to Cass, which is this year and last year was fun because of the weather, thank goodness. But we always see the courthouse, and then the second day we go see secondary roads like about 6 or 7 in the morning. But of course, if it's snowing winter, they're out doing roads. So we just always have to reschedule that, which is not an issue either. Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, and that heart attack, 10,000, is that a one-time occurrence?
It is,
So if there's a second time, it's nothing.
correct. So, and they can build up to $50,000 on that. So if this year you buy 10,000, next year, and it is going to be age-based. So if you buy 10,000 this year, wait a couple years, and you decide you want to add another 10, or you might want to add 30, you can build up to the 50. I guess I should have told you when I was going through each.
I thought you said that, but I wanted to clarify that.
Okay. And there is no cost in county on this whatsoever.
What would you say would be one of your selling features opposed to Aflac, so currently offer Aflac. Is there some things that you provide that maybe Aflac doesn't that you could
Well,
provide?
our
more?
life, first of all, because it's a 100-year term, we've got a patent on it. We've had that patent since 1950. So say you put it on a 3-year-old child, well, that 3-year-old child's gonna have a 97-year term. I think Aflac is starting to do life now. I don't know, because I don't know their policies, but I think they only offer maybe 10, 20.
Okay.
I don't know that. And then ours are all portable. All of our policies are portable. Either whoever does payroll is gonna let me know, or my home office is gonna let me know. Said individual has left, and I contact them. And when we enroll them, I tell them, if you leave the county, it's your policy. I get notified. I'm gonna contact you to get banking information, so it comes out once a month. So the rate's
Is
still
that
the same.
like portable?
Our Aflac is portable, but the
And
term
see,
life.
the
is
reason I
not.
asked the question on that, I had that situation.
Oh, okay,
And I know that that's like real big for second occurrence.
okay,
That is a lesser amount.
okay. And, see, I don't know. I don't know anything. In my past life, I used to be the office manager. We used to take care of, they offered Aflac, but I really didn't know anything about the policies. And that's been too long ago for me to even try to remember. But, the cancer policy, there's actually 2 cancer policies. And I put it in, the second one in here, it's a cash cancer policy. It's a one-time lump sum payment as well. It goes, we kind of introduced it as a rider to go along with this. That one they cannot offer, because we have a patent on that policy as well. But our scheduled benefit plan, we have no lifetime maximum. I have been told, but I've also been told otherwise. Aflac sometimes has a cap on theirs, but I don't know that either. So,
Well, I think it's so much occurrence. Well, I think on what the cash payments for that illness, but then they also pay on the days in the hospital and stuff too.
Which is
And
a-
there's the situation I had an architect, they paid me a cash payment,
okay,
and they paid so much every day I was in the hospital and travel stuff. But in a good way, the dump drops pretty good water.
which is, and it is great. Aflac's a great company. They really are.
And I tell the truth, the only reason I signed up for it was my wife had her own private business, didn't have those kind of benefits, so I took it just because of her. I'm the one that used it.
Yeah, the supplemental benefits are definitely, they have a great place for what they do.
And some of the things just, there's some similarities to the Aflac plans, but these are a little different. And from what I've looked at, like the rates that we're offering on the Aflac, and these rates are a little less.
That's because we just don't do that advertising.
Yeah,
I mean, because
so-
that duck drops a nice wad, but you also cost a lot in advertising.
Well,
But,
the nice part is, so,
but you don't have to replace Aflac with this. I'm not here to replace it.
Yeah.
This is just extra.
so Allison, we're gonna start a subcommittee that's gonna be overlooking our health insurance programs. So this kind of fits under that umbrella. It's about perfect timing for you to come in. So I think they're gonna start scheduling maybe their first get together
Okay,
and
discuss.
I think this would be a good talking point too, and HSAs and things like that. So this will fit well in there, and I'm sure Aflac will come up and
Let me ask you one question. You have a $50,000 life insurance, is that your max?
on spouse and children, yes. On the employee, they can go up to 250.
Up to 250.
The first 50 is on the pre-tax. Anything over that, if they want $100,000 policy, the first 50's.
Everybody has different needs, so.
Nope, you're right. I can agree with you more.
So if we would want to implement this, let's say, January of 23.
Okay.
Next, how soon would you need to know what we decide? Like, if we have our insurance committee and we're talking employee benefits, we're talking employee handbook probably and all that stuff. When would you need to know in order to be prepared?
Okay, first question is, do you want the policies to take effect January 1, or do you want me to meet with people January 1?
Probably take effect January 1, because that's usually when we have people come in and make changes. They have Aflac, they can change that. They can change our health insurance plan at that time if they want.
Okay,
So-
because the first, yeah, I got it. Because if I was to say enroll it today, and say the premium, say your benefit period went until April 30th, you would start taking it out of the check in May, the bill would be due June 1st, and that's when the policies would go into effect. So October,
You know how it is, you start talking about stuff, and you're like,
Exactly.
well, we need to make a decision on that, and, okay.
I mean, the sooner I can get paperwork turned into, I can turn paperwork in, like if, say if we do enrollments, because you guys have over 20, we'd have 2 months. So if you're wanting to go into effect January 1, so we're gonna need to do the enrollments October, November. Take it out of the check in December, policies in effect January 1. So then that means by August.
Does anybody have any more questions for Allison?
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time and bringing this.
Hey, we're not a problem. I appreciate the time. Do you guys, do you want me to follow up with Courtney?
That'd be okay, I think.
Yeah.
And when would you like me to do that?
We should probably get started on this.
Yeah,
You know, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
I was just kind of holding back till we get through budget season and then, because everybody's kind of busy, but I'm hoping that maybe the first part of May or maybe in this month, we start meeting, and how often, as I see things piling up, I think we might meet a little more often than I was anticipating, but I'm hoping by September, we should be done, if not maybe August.
But don't you think we'll have a decision on this?
And
Probably
the ones
earlier
that
than
have
some of the
time
other stuff.
sensitivity to it, we may move that up to the time, to a more appropriate discussion time. We may move all our, outside stuff.
So would you want to maybe reach out to me? I'm thinking we have an election in June, so I'm usually busy
Okay,
prior to that, but like sometime in the middle of June.
okay.
That way, maybe I'll have an answer, and if I don't, I might have a better.
No, that's good. 6. So probably maybe around June 13th or June 20th.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to just, you can email or you can call, whatever.
Okay. that'd be fine. Well, awesome. Well, guys, well, and ladies, sorry. That was rounded, but yes, thank you for your time. Do
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I'll just be in
Thank you.
touch
Sounds great.
mid-June.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is secondary roads. We did remove A, B, and C. So D is project updates. Good morning, Zach.
Morning. Railroad Bridge is coming along. They're working on it. It probably will be at least this week and probably part of next week yet to get that completed. From what I understand, it's the deck and the rails is what they're mainly doing. If they find something else, then it may be more.
How's that on that? For the newspaper.
280th, or no, that's on Falcon, sorry. Falcon Avenue, just
Wait
north.
by the end of next week.
I would say so. Unless they find something else to add to their task. Next project is our N3 bridge northeast of Templeton. They're continuing working on, they have all the pile driven. They have one abutment poured and one set of piers poured. They'll be working on the next set of piers, pouring those tomorrow, and probably the other abutment later this week. So they'll have the concrete substructure done by the end of the week and start working on building their forms for decking and moving along, so.
Completion date. It's
It's
closed right now.
It's closed, a while.
We're moving along really fast.
I would say
Midnight.
late May.
Then you'll have to have it set for a while too.
Yeah, getting things ready for decking takes a while. That's a long process, so.
Foreman's pushing slow. He's retiring after this is last week.
It is. And I know I mentioned previous meetings that we were gonna do some crack filling this year. We have 2 different contractors gonna come in to do that this year. One of those contractors is planning on moving in possibly next week, weather permitting. I'm not sure which road they're gonna start on. There are a few segments that they're gonna be working on. The large segments will be north and south of Glidden. So. Right, which road? What was it, N41, and then I guess it's N44 going south. That's what I had for projects. I guess a quick update on why we pulled 3A, B, and C. Still haven't heard, they still don't have the website and the program up and running as far as being able to enter in information and get data back out. I'm not for sure. There's a lot of counties in this situation. There's probably 50 counties that are in the same boat and we're planning to do it this week and now may not
All
be.
because of the state website.
Yeah, the Iowa County Engineers Service Bureau website is down, and I'm not sure what took it down, but it's a big deal. So
That gets you tied up against the window though, don't it?
it does. The code sets April 15th as a date where you're supposed to have this stuff submitted. So it depends on when that website gets back up again. I'm mostly done. I probably got an hour and a half worth of work to do to get things finalized and printing stuff out. So
So we're gonna have a special meeting Friday then?
possibly, or that they're looking into what concessions they can make to extend that, to make it
Yeah, I would
work.
think they would make concessions to
Some
extend
type
it
of grace
if
period.
you can't get to it.
They're trying to. The hard part is that with it being set by code, that makes it a little more difficult to extend, but they're looking at ways around that, I guess, or trying to make that work. So when I know more, I'll definitely let everyone know, but that's why those three things are not on the agenda
Be on
anymore.
standby for Friday.
Well, yeah, don't forget, we have to have 48 hours posted notice,
It's actually 24.
24.
I misspoke a while back.
Okay, and we could do Zoom. Is there any information we need to have
I'll set,
that might affect our decision one way or another that you're not?
I can send things out, I can email it out.
Okay.
Really not. It's not a whole lot different. I mean, the biggest thing with the 5-year program is the accomplishment year. Well, you already know what's going on for the accomplishment year because we talked about that for the local budget. So, and the budgets for the program, the budget itself is really no different than what we did in the local budget. So it's not any new information when it comes to that. So it's
This is basically a stamp of approval.
it's a review of what we've already talked about. The only thing with, the other thing is the future year projects, which again, as we talked about, is as far as you go further and further out, those are more not set in stone, I guess, I'll put it that way, with when they might happen and if they happen. It's just kind of more of a,
Priorities change too.
So is
They
it
do.
statewide county engineer website?
yes.
Okay, just, yeah, and we can maybe do this by Zoom,
Right.
5-minute meeting. So,
And we'll need to have 3 of you,
right,
that's
Right.
all, so.
And if they give us, if there's a little bit of if they give us a grace period, I'd much rather just wait and we'll do it next Monday, but we'll see what comes of that and go from there, so.
we're good.
I did have one invoice that failed to make the bills. It was basically for some outside IT stuff that Dalton lined up for us to get some cables ran and some things, so we missed it on the list, and when the work was done, like November, December, and we got the bill late, but want to get it paid.
Did Amy enter that?
I think she did.
Okay, we'll double check.
Double check, but I'm pretty sure she did.
Okay.
So it's the other 80 mile north of the 5-year plan.
Probably not.
There's always been one that's been kind of stuck in there.
I don't know if it's in the 5-year.
Just keeps the
I know I don't didn't do this.
in that time. This project's been ongoing for 2+ years, so
Okay.
we're trying to keep things going. I think that was part of it. I don't think he had. I think he had all the equipment necessary, but I think it was more of a time thing.
Yikes. Trip to Ace, $50.
Yeah.
Eat up our mileage. Half a mile, got $50.
Take a bite. It would take me that long to get out there.
Thanks for the update. Keep us posted on
Yep.
the state website stuff, so.
Definitely will.
Alrighty. After that goes around, we'll move forward to item number 4, the CDBG down payment assistance program. We have number 20-HSGB-001, number 7, revised draw request. This is, document number 7 in the amount of $31,439 for the first one.
I think that was for Rich. Is that Glidden or Hypnotic?
I'm gonna say it was good, but I don't know that. That's just getting finished, so I assume that probably will.
This is the program that people get down payment
Yeah.
assistance.
this is
So-
about
Yep.
the community.
And what'll happen is we'll at some point get a check for $31,439, and when we get that check in turn, we'll give it to Region 12. So
I'll make a motion. To approve the revised draw request.
Also,
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item B, number 20-HSGB-001, number 8, draw request, and this is in for the amount of $3,622.
it's been working to get through a project.
It is under 80 text me.
Okay, good.
I make a motion to approve HSGB-01, number 8, draw request.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
you can sign both of these.
Sounds good.
This is probably the project that is the whole. You know, yeah, you know what I'm saying, it's the whole woman, and that is a specific part of it. I look for those times are out this year.
No more funding.
Well,
I just
not
think
just
that's-
funding, but we're not sure there's a lot of need for it. So it takes a little bit of care of some people and work our way through that group.
All right, the next item on the agenda is to approve the plat.
I'll make a motion for the plat.
Yet, there's one or one there, it's just we're taking it out of the state.
It's this way, half mile south that dirt road on 141.
Correct. I'll second that.
All right, there's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is to approve payables with the addition of that, or with the addition of your added on, correct?
And I would like to also say that with the deletion on page 9, I do not think we should be paying Shive Hattery or any other bills on a jail until we get it qualified. That is construction or engineering.
Okay, and I have one here. It's for Jared Hayes. He does our Maple River sewer. This got sent to me after I ran the report, but we always like to pay him on the first bill day. So I'll just pass that around. Those are his hours for the month of March, I believe. March, yeah. And I do have the Shive Hattery bill here if anybody wants to see it.
I do.
Except the one in the 10,000.
$10,100.
And you wanted to
I
hold
want
that
that,
for now.
hold it. I think all bills should be held. Fine, like that.
We're gonna hold it until next cycle or just hold it?
This is
Hold it till we're satisfied.
That's
partially of the
final.
payment is the closeout.
Yeah, that's the final.
Yeah, no, bill will not be paying us. In my opinion, we should not pay this until we have done our actual closeout meeting.
Well, and we should have as-built drawings too. As-built drawings.
Oh, correct. So we
We're
have
still
those for
waiting on
future.
those.
I don't know that I have not heard that did that.
What did you say on?
As-built.
As Bill. Oh,
So we've got 2 additions and 1 subtraction. Correct. Motion to approve those with the 2 additions of secondary roads and Maple River Township trustee and the hold on Shive Avenue $10,100.22.
I will second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, approve fiscal year 23 county substance abuse prevention services agreement.
Anybody had any questions on this? No change in the dollar amount. Funds proposed $3,589. The Iowa Department of Public Health funding, the 3-to-1 county match for a total budget of $14,356. This is with new opportunities. This is not a new agreement. We do this every year.
Same thing
Or
we've
I should
always
say
had.
the Board of Supervisors does this every year.
I made a motion for the approval of the fiscal 23 county substance abuse prevention services agreement.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
I'll abstain.
Okay, and also, okay, if you're abstaining, who had the? Was it Scott and then Rich?
Rich, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Whatever you want to make it. For. Sure, we're just trying.
You
Rich
made
made
the-
the motion, I second.
We're just trying to live in.
I didn't look at it.
I
Okay.
abstain.
Yes, I got that. Can we also include in that motion to add Emily Lowe as the signatory on the documents moving forward? Because it's done online.
Has she been authorized to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when Joanne left,
Yeah, I thought
Emily
that's
took
what
that
we
over.
did, but wasn't that good for, or just, do we need that every time?
we'll need it every year. We do the new
Okay,
agreement,
very good.
and that's okay to add
I'd
that.
like to amend my motion, just.
I'll second the amendment.
There's a place here for the chair to sign the paper. Right here.
All right, there's been a motion, amended a motion and a second. Any more discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, last item on the agenda is manure management annual updates. Brook Feedlot updated, Brook Feedlot section 35, Nice Township updated RSLE 2s and P indexes in a 4-year update. And then Roy Pork LLC section 33, Eden Township, there was no changes. Do we need to do any formal action on this?
No, that was just for your information about the meeting.
We can go into committee reports. Does anybody want to?
I'll go first.
Okay. You guys should arm wrestle.
Jeez,
Fight over it.
So, then I'll go
Thanks,
ahead.
Chief. Last week, Wednesday, I met with county engineer to review possible future purchases. Thursday, Rich and Stephanie and I were at Region 12. Saturday, I attended the legislative forum in Glidden. This morning, we had a landfill meeting. And this week, we got the assessor at noon today. And possibly moving for secondary roads. That's all. Your turn.
Okay. Last week on Tuesday, the meeting CADC, DMAC was there and gave a presentation in regard to the Templeton campus and what that was going to look like in the programming for that. Very impressive. I think it's going to be a big win for the whole region. And then Saturday, I was at the legislative forum. This week, on Tuesday, Stephanie and I need to meet with CADC in regard to business venture. And then possibly one at noon today, the assessor's thing. That's basically because we moved Jeff Simmons on Good Friday.
Need to just see this.
Yeah.
I'll go, Elaine.
I'm done.
I'll go next. Tuesday, CADC, attended the DMAC presentation, very good presentation. DMAC's kind of got it going on right now, so I congratulate them on some projects they've got going. Wednesday, Rolling Hills had a Zoom only meeting. We finalized some pay authorizations for Don Menser, our administrator, to make a job offer. They have done interviews and we went through the interview process, and we're going to make a offer to a person. I do not know if that's been accepted yet. I have not heard. Also during that conversation, the county of record conversation came up again, because we considered moving this person to a regional employee and make the break from the county of record. Came in consideration was multiple counties have multiple different benefits. We would be bringing this person in at what may be a disadvantage or an advantage over those employees. Very complicated subject. Lots of discussion about it. We agreed to that Buena Vista County will be the county of record for this new employee if they get them hired. That was on Wednesday. On Thursday, Region 12, we had a supper meeting. Stephanie and Scott were there. We had some discussion in the earlier part about the parking and drive on the west side of Region 12 building. We had purchased some property and made it easier to get the turning of the buses in and out of the building a little bit easier, so we don't have to pull up and then back up and pull up and back up to get out. We'll build to cure some of that, but come to the cost. So about $75,000 worth of concrete. We're gonna bid that out. We haven't done that yet. I think there was maybe 3 different segments we might be looking at doing 3 different ways: the dirt work, the concrete work, and then I think of what the 3rd piece of it was. So that should be out fairly soon. I thought it was interesting. We had the population for the county. They have the 2020 census figures, and I was kind of happy with some of the communities. I mean, obviously, we're all trying to lose. Seems like without much effort, we seem to be losing. Ashley Brinks was hired to replace Joanne Overding. That she is on the job at this time. Let's see. Nancy Nealbar. She has retired. And that job is out there on the website, I believe at this time. I don't believe anybody's been hired yet. So the 2 long-term employees we lost. Happy for both of them for retirement. That was on Thursday. Also, I went and met with Zach on some issues at Secondary Roads about talking about the bidding process and vehicles and just very complicated subject right at this particular time because of delays and trying to compare an apple to an apple. It's awful hard. The legislative forum on Saturday. That was pretty good. Actually, the state senator from Sedgwick was there. That was glad he was there, Jason Schultz. It was very informative. This upcoming week, other than today, the board meeting at noon today for the Board of Review, and that shouldn't just an appointment. We've already discussed that a couple of times, so that's just putting the final stamp on that. Other than that, that's all I have this week. Try to catch up on some things that I kind of been putting on the back burner. So.
I can go next. Last week, Region 12, Rich covered that. I will say, Zach, since you're sitting here, they do have 5 transit vehicles on order for fiscal year 2022, including 2 ADA minivans and 2 Ford Transits. Their vendors are telling them anywhere from a year to 2 years. So it's frustrating across the board, not just secondary roads. Last week, I also had the newspaper and radio, and I did go meet with Zach out at secondary roads, and I did receive quite a few phone calls this last week. And then I can't remember exactly what day it was. I want to say Thursday. I did have a really good conversation with Becky Benami. It was over an hour long. She did some detailed talk about where she feels the Board of Health is going to go with public health. So I do want to thank her for having that detailed conversation and understanding where we as a Board of Supervisors are, in my opinion, want to have the open communication going forward with the Board of Health. This week, today, I have that conference call at 12 with the assessor's office for the Board of Review. Then I have Westman tonight. And then tomorrow, CADC at 10. I think that is it for next week. Also, I wanted to make note going forward after this meeting, we will be meeting in the other supervisor room, the original one on the main floor.
There will be some, don't schedule anything down here this week. Looks like there's some scheme.
And that is all I have.
Last week I had no official meetings. This week I have the assessor meeting at noon and North Raccoon River Management Authority meeting at 2:30. Executive meeting. The our secretary, who is with the Polk County Soil and Water District, has quit that job. She now has another position, so she took herself off of the executive committee. So I'm sure we're going to be discussing that. We're supposed to have a meeting on Friday, the quarterly meeting. I doubt whether that's going to happen. There's a lot to go through there. So, and then this evening I've got a conservation board meeting.
Courtney, I did forget to mention that.
That's it.
I did go to the website.
Quick question, is it a conference board meeting or a Board of Review meeting?
Board of Review.
Board of Review.
Is the conference board,
It's a conference board.
but you guys are making a
We need to
Board of
make an
Review?
appointment to the Board of Review.
Okay,
You're right.
just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, you're right.
Coordinate, this year insurance There was another guy that I told you about. Do you think we should have him come in?
I'm fine with that.
I mean, it seemed like kind of similar, but that's, I'm thinking what his name is, I forgot it. Anyway, maybe I'll.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
One other thing, the answer, I mentioned this earlier this morning. Do you think we ought to pursue this like for our rural communities that are unincorporated, for that siren or weather?
Dean,
Oh.
remember Marie Booth's talking about the
Yeah.
siren and Maple River?
Mount Carmel.
Was that who it was who talked about? it?
No,
Who was that?
it was Elvin Corn.
I mean, there was a lady talking to it from up there, and I think it might.
Well, it could have been Marie.
But I'm
She
thinking
lives-
if we do something, we should do it like with Roselle
You were
and
not.
Mount
She had
Carmel.
to attend the meeting. As part of the farm. bureau. So you would, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll see one.
what, you think that was through Chris Sadet?
Yeah, he's
And
in.
but I'm sure he's not gonna problem. I wonder if I should talk to like Jason downstairs.
I think, or Sarah, too, Sarah Anderson,
Yeah,
because I know she
If
was
we get a
involved
chance to
in
pursue
getting
this, why
some
wouldn't
of
we?
those.
Okay, well, then I'll visit with her.
Open-
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
there's-
maybe.
So
even
what
go
is
over.
that?
It just came out, there's a grant. It's a FEMA disaster hazard mitigation grant. And it says that one of them is for sirens for I guess tornadoes. I see it there now.
Mount Carmel.
Warning sirens.
Yeah,
So,
I bet it's a FEMA grant.
And what they're talking
I'll
there.
have her look into that, but it might be 5 years before you get that.
Well,
Could
but
be.
whether we do or not.
But
It's
if we-
15%
if we're
local.
thinking about doing it, I bet there's COVID preparedness dollars that can go towards that. I mean, that's here today.
They're talking like here for locals, 15%. It might not be.
Oh, 15% of the total amount.
There has
Oh,
to be a 15%.
That's what the local share would be.
yeah, I know, but I would think, geez, I'll talk to Sarah about.
Well, I'll
about
talk
that.
to Sarah.
Well, I'll talk to her as well, but I think there's coalition dollars that can be used for that. And that's 100%, and that can be immediate.
They brought that up a couple of times, in a couple different conversations.
Well,
And I think we probably should consider it, and I don't know if Willie's another one we should look at too. I don't know.
Well, they have some, what I'm looking at is particularly being sort of incorporated, maybe they can come up with their share, maybe do the same grant. But I think like Roselle and Maple River, Mount Carmel fall under our jurisdiction. That's why I was looking at that. This would be the time to do it if you're gonna do it, I think. And I'm not so sure how well that Mount Carmel one is, because we got that Mount Carmel one we got. I hauled that back from Adam also. That's an older siren. And I'm sure these grants are gonna be for new sirens, so I doubt it'll be for you.
Hey, Ben or Dalton, do we have anything online?
I do not think so. Nope, no comments online.
Courtney?
Next week. All right, so the proposals that I requested from those 4 vendors, I believe it was 4 for the asbestos lead testing. They're due on Friday, so I'm hoping that on Monday we can review those.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully we get some.
I haven't received nothing yet. And then I'll have a budget amendment, the last one of the year.
That's discouraging, not seeing anything show up.
And a lot of times it's like you get them like,
Last minute.
yeah, right away.
Usually somebody would call and ask, inquire, was there, did you mention John's name in there?
I did not. Yep. With that, we're in order for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Any more discussion? None, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned.
We are meeting back here.